Good evening, guys. This is the Crypto Jarhead. Sherry Thomas had asked for a video on how I'm doing my arbitrage. And so I've got a little bit of time. Went ahead and fed the kid, and he's just kind of content and happy right now. So I figure I'll try and squeeze in a quick video. I'm not going to go over everything, everything on it. I'm just going to show just a couple of quick basic strategies that I've been using. So real quick, I started with 325 fine, and I went ahead and counted them up. Now, right now, it's going to show that I've got like nothing, and I don't have any Ether or Bitcoin or anything like that. Here's why. Here are my open orders for everything, and I've got like 1,100 of them tied up in open orders. Where are the rest of my damn fines? Okay, there we go. So there's a big, massive one I've got right there for 500. So anyway, what I've been doing is I go to the exchange on Finecoin, and this will work for any exchange that you're in. I'm going to use Finecoin because that's the one I've been, had my nose stuck in for the past few days. So, and the first thing that I looked at, right, you got the little chart, which is cool, but you don't have the option to add things like 7-day moving averages or RMIs or anything like that. So it's kind of cool. You have to do your own analysis if you're just using the chart. But the first thing I saw when I looked, and it just changed the zoom on me because I happened to press on the zoom bar. The first thing I saw when I first looked at it, and I said, hey, this looks like an interesting arbitrage opportunity. I said that in a video, right? And I hadn't really had the chance to play around with it and mess with it yet. But the first thing I saw, right, like up here, you see the volume, which is great. That's cool. 36,000 Finecoins have been sold today, bought and sold. There's the bid and the ask. It's pretty close together. So, it's a pretty established price point right now. And then I looked right here, 24-hour high and the 24-hour low. And just that's a big difference, right? 1,600 versus 289. Now, knowing that these things are trading up here at the top of the scroll bar, you can see right now 0.51 cents, 519 cents, so almost 52 cents, right? Clearly, these are not in US dollars or US cents, right? So the way it works with Finecoin, this is the Ethereum market. So the fine price is related to the current price of whatever market you're in, which right now we're in the Ethereum market. So if the fine price was 1, it would be $698.06, right? So it's relative to the price of whatever market that you're in. And that's why you'll see numbers. If you go to the Bitcoin market, you would see, like 16,800 or 17,000, somewhere around there. And if you go to Ripple, it'll be, what's Ripple at? 79 cents. So it'd be, I don't know, 1.5, some shit like that. So that's how they determine the price in fine, which is every time you do a transaction, put in an order, the price is in fine. What I've been doing is I'll go back to the little chart here. Okay. I'll say, okay. So generally speaking, it's been wavering between 1,600 and 1,300, right? Somewhere in that price line, right? So how do I take advantage of this? What do I do? If I already had Finecoin, I would set a buy order See, I've had my nose in this market for the past like 3 or 4 days, and I still get them switched around. So you're looking to buy Ethereum. That's why they call it a buy order using your Finecoins, right? And then here's where you're selling Ethereum to purchase Finecoins, right? So since it is trading for lower than the price I was going to say, it's trading. I was going to say put in a sell order for your Finecoin at like 1,400, right? But right now it's lower than that. So just go with what it is now. It just happens to be that way right now. So go ahead and sell your damn Fine, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to put in a buy order. So if we sold it, let's say we sold it for 1360, what you would do is I've generally been doing like 100 Fine increments, right? So I would put in a buy order after this sells for 1460, right? And keep in mind, it's not going to sell like right away. But generally speaking, when I keep it within 100, or maybe 150, after an hour or two, it will have sold again and I'll have more Fine. So let's say I sell this at 1360, I sell, whatever, 1,000 of the Fines, and I get, $500 in Ethereum. Right? Let's just say it's 50 cents. Well, or let's say it's 51 cents, right? Well, then I put it in at 1460, which we can actually get. Let's get real numbers here. Let me not just throw that out. So 1360, 51 cents, right? And then buy back at either 1460, which is 47 cents, or 1500, 46 cents. Either way. And it's been bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down all day, right? Excuse me. So let's just do this. 1360, selling 1,000 of them. That would get me 0.7352 Ethereum, right? So then I'm going to do 0.7352 9. Keep in mind, if you do the exact amount of Ether, it won't let you do it because you don't have enough money. There is going to be a fee, right? So that same 1,000 Fine that I just sold, an hour ago, or whatever, I could try and buy back 1,100 of these things, right? And then the cycle continues. Once I've got 1,100, all right, let me clear this one out. I would come back and I would put 1,100. And that would give me 0.8 ETH this time. All right, so do the same damn thing. All right, try and take that 0.8 ETH. And now I've got 1,200. You see how this works? It's very basic, very simple. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. It ain't going to happen as soon as you click that button, right? It's just not. If it does, you're doing it wrong. Plain and simple. What I like to do is as soon as I've seen that, either my buy or my sell has gone through, I will open the order for the opposite. So if my buy came through, I will open a sell as soon as I see it. Right? Or I will check the market to make sure, like for example, if I didn't notice it for 45 minutes, right? And the price jumped back up dramatically, and now it's trading for around 1,200 Fine. I'm not going to put one for 1360. I'm going to put one for 1,200. I'm going to put my 1,100 Finecoins up for 1,200 Fine instead of 1360, because that would give me a few extra cents, 7 extra cents, right? And instead of having 0.8 ETH, I would have 0.91, right? So as soon as you see one of the orders has come through, check the market to make sure that you're not screwing yourself, and then set your buy order or your sell order, whichever one is applicable at the time. And then, come look at it in an hour or two, and don't panic if it, drops out. So there is the obvious possibility that the price will run away from you one way or the other. If that happens, don't panic, okay? Don't freak out. Don't try and sell for what you can. That's buying green and selling red, okay? We don't do that. We do it the other way around. Buy red, sell green, plain and simple. So if the price runs away from you, minimum, put in an opposite order of what you just did. So at the very least, you're trying to get back to where you were, okay? And just let that bitch ride to zero and wait however long it takes. This is if you have, like, say you just bought a whole bunch of Finecoin and the price just dumped on you. Minimum, put down a buy order for exactly what you just sold it for, minimum. I would throw it up another, 1 or 200 fine. Why not? What do you have to lose at this point? And just wait and see if it comes back. If it doesn't, well, game over. You're taking a risk within a risk when you're doing this. Know that going in, okay? Now, if on the other hand, you had just, you had sold your Finecoin for Ethereum for, let's say, 60 cents, and the price jumped up to $1 or $2, right? Well, at that point, you have two options. You can either just wait it out, wait for it to come back before you buy some more fine, or you can go ahead and take your Ethereum or Bitcoin or Ripple and send it back to your wallet. If you've been doing this and you've grown the amount of money that you have on the site, you will walk away with a profit. So right now, I happen to have a whole bunch of Finecoin. I've got 1,130 something. They're all tied up in open orders right now, and it's multiple orders. I didn't throw all of them on one price. I put them at different price points, protecting myself either way because I've grown enough of the Finecoin to do that. Now, if the price drops down to 20 cents, I may be screwed. We'll see. Now, I have also already withdrawn $90 of my initial 180. So I'm only half as invested as I am now. So if that does happen, I'm out $90. I'm not too worried about it. I had a whole lot of fun the past 3 or 4 days. On the other hand, if the price runs away upwards, I'm in a pretty good position. So if it suddenly shoots up to $3 or $4, I'm probably going to start my stake right here. I might sell $1,000 worth, pull that out, so I've got my all of my initial investment times about 5, and then go ahead and stake the rest, or maybe stake half and wait and see if the price jumps up even more. But this is kind of what I've been doing in the meantime, right? So it does work. You have to have a little bit of patience, and if the price starts to run away on you, don't panic, don't freak out, wait for it to come back. Okay. Right now in Finecoin, it's like a pendulum effect. I've seen the price going as low as about 43 cents, and I've seen it go as high as about 69 cents. I don't think I've seen a 70-cent price point as it was happening. I saw them in the market afterwards. But as it was happening, I didn't see it. So in option 2 is what I'm kind of calling my moonshot. Right, this is kind of what I've been doing lately. Right, so right now it's selling for well, what the hell is it selling for right now? 1370. Or here, market history, 1330 is about what it's what it's going for now. And you can see if you go to the next page in the history, which it's not going to let me do because Finecoin uses Cloudflare and occasionally get out of sync. I'm probably going to see a little red error message pop up pretty soon, ask me to reload the site. But there's buttons down here. Oh, it did let me press it. Okay, so it's synced back up, and you can see there are people doing almost exactly what I'm talking about here. Right? So boom, 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 boom. The price is jumping around, 100 or less. So it could be people doing exactly what I'm doing, These could be a lot of people buying around 1600 and selling back around 1370. It could be people just catching the market at the price. You've got like these guys might have bought at 16, turned around and sold at 1326 or 1360, and then turned right around and bought it again at about 1500. It works, guys. It does. Like I said, it is risky. It is super fucking risky. But I'm okay with a lot of risk. I'm kind of like the Oracle in that way, where I'm a little crazy with my money. I like to play hard and fast with the rules. So I'm looking at a couple of really crazy days ahead in my schedule. I don't know if I'll be posting any videos in the next day or two, just because it's going to be hectic. So what I did earlier today when I realized what my schedule was going to look like the next 2 or 3 days, is I went ahead and opened up what I call moonshots. So what I started doing is when I would sell for Ethereum or Bitcoin, I would start only buying back, 75% of what I sold. Right, so I'd keep a little reserve in Ethereum or Bitcoin to try and take advantage of some super cheap prices if they popped up. Now, what I did is I went ahead and put little safeguards up. I put up little open orders both ways. So I put in my selling Finecoin orders. I went ahead and played with the price until I got like a 75-cent price. I think I did 75 in Bitcoin and I did 75 in Ethereum. I did 75 in Bitcoin, and I threw a couple up in the Ripple market. I think I threw 50 in the Ripple market, whatever, for 80 cents, just in case. And then with my Bitcoin and Ethereum that I had available, I went ahead and opened up buy orders for around 45 cents. So that way, if the price starts going down, I can get some more. And if the price starts going up, it'll automatically sell when the price hits correctly. And what I'm just going to be doing is the next couple of days, I'm just going to be checking to see if any of my orders have happened. So I went ahead and tried to protect myself either way. Take advantage of either situation while I don't really have time to monitor. Another thing that I could do is I could just pull everything back out and just sit on everything for a minute. But, why? If all of my Finecoins sell for 75 to 80 cents, then I'll walk away with a whole lot more money than I put into this thing initially. because I started with 325, bought in around 55 cents. And so if I sell 1,100 of them at 75 cents a piece, that's about $750 around there. A little bit closer to 800, and I've already pulled out 90. So it'd be, whatever, 870 to 880, somewhere around there that I did make off of Finecoin, off of an initial $180 investment. That's a 4x. That's like a 4.3x or 4.5, something like that. I'm tired, so my head math ain't really spot on right now. And I'll be okay with it. In the meantime, and then the other way is if Finecoin drops, I set myself an advantage where I'll be able to pick up another 300 or 400 of these things. So, and if that happens, then I'll just wait. No big deal. Like I said, right now I'm only in this for $90 out of my pocket. So if it goes to zero, like if it drops down to, whatever, 40 cents, 30 cents, I'm going to let it ride to zero. I don't care. I'm out $90, whatever. I'll spend more than that in the bar within like a couple hours back when I was drinking. So it doesn't matter to me. $90 is definitely not enough to make me nervous. I don't know. You might be in a little different situation, and everyone is in a little bit different situation. So that's the main thing that I've been doing. Now, there is another strategy. It involves, what's the trading at? 1330 right now in Ethereum, something like that. So 52 cents in the Ethereum market, right? So then you go to the Bitcoin market. This would be like, let's say you had Bitcoin in here. You had $100 worth of Bitcoin, right? And you're watching the Bitcoin market. And that's what you're doing, right? And you see, okay, so the market history, it's right around 18,000. So we're just going to say, whatever, 17,800, just to get a price. 987, I think is what it actually was. Wow. 17,987. All right, so it's trading for 50 cents right now. What you could do is you could take your $100 worth of Bitcoin, buy as much fine as you can, and take that fine, immediately list it on the Ethereum marketplace for, what it's going for now, or maybe a cent or two above it, and flip it that way. You would increase your money. And then you could also go look at the Ripple market. I don't mess with the Ripple market, really. What the hell? Did it just... Yeah, it did. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Sometimes it'll just randomly log you out. So anyway, Ripple market. I don't mess with the Ripple market on Finecoin. It moves too damn slow. There's not enough volume going on in the Ripple market. There's 8% of the volume happening on the Ethereum market, and the Bitcoin market has even more volume than the Ethereum market. So it moves slow around here. But what you could do is like, okay, so let's say you have a little bit of Ripple, right? And so right now, people are trying to buy it for 1.65, which is 47 cents. So what you could do, if you had Ripple, is you could buy it on Ripple. You could buy your fines on Ripple, and then turn around and sell them like in the highest current market, which would be Ethereum, for a 5 cent per coin profit. So if you're buying, let's say you've got $100 worth of Ripple, this would buy you somewhere in the ballpark of 220 Finecoins, and then you would turn around and sell that for 54 cents a piece. 200, we'll just say 200, easy math. That would get you $108 worth of Ethereum. Then you wait for Ethereum to dip back down and to like 50 cents, buy some more. And then once you have your Finecoin again, find the most profitable market to sell in and sell it. Like I said, don't rely on Ripple. It takes forever. I do have a little bit on the Ripple market, but I'm not really holding my breath on that one. It's kind of just a, hey, why not? So that's another strategy that you can use, playing within the different markets, right? So each market, Ripple, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, they each have different prices that they're trading at. So you can arbitrage that way as well. Let's just go look at the Bitcoin volume, because now I'm curious. Oh, actually, Bitcoin. I mean, they are doing more volume than Ethereum, but not by as much as I thought. Oh well. Either way, you can see between Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're doing about 130,000 fines a day, and then Ripple is doing 8,000. So, or no, less than that, 4,000. Wait, was it? Yeah, about 4,000. So it's a slower market, but if you really like Ripple, that might be the place for you. That's where you see you see a lot of significant price changes in different times of the day. Now, keep in mind, I actually counted them out earlier. It took 3 hours to make 8 trades on the Ripple market, but each of them were for vastly different amounts. So it was anywhere from like 48 cents to like 63. So, I mean, it's possible, guys. There is room, but there's a lot fewer buyers in the Ripple marketplace. So take that for what that's worth. So those are just a couple of basic arbitrage strategies. There are a lot more. But doing it this way, I've been able to grow my Finecoin from 325 to 1,130. And I had another couple hundred that I sold back for around the 55-cent price point again, to get my $90 back out. So, in reality, it was about 1,330 that I earned. So doing this, I've gained about 1,000 Finecoin in the past. I think I started doing this Thursday is when I started actually trying this out. So, I mean, it's possible, guys. And you can do very, very similar things in Thorn. If you look at the exchange on Thorn, people are doing this. People are day trading on Thorn, which is cool. They're making money off that. Not really what we had in mind, but, hey, you can try this in Thorn as well. And I'm assuming in any of these coins that has an internal exchange, you can do very similar things on all of them. Now, there are some ways that you can do arbitrage between exchanges. So these are the external exchanges like, HitBTC or Binance or Coin Exchange or whatever. And what you would do with those is you would have your eye on a particular coin. Like, let's say you really like Doge, right? And let's say on, I don't even know what Doge is trading for these days, to be honest with you guys. But I don't know. Let's say on Binance, it's trading for, 5 cents a Doge, which I've heard has gotten absurdly high like that. The last time I was looking at Doge, it was like fractions of a penny. Well, let's say it's, trading for 5 cents on Binance, and then you look over on HitBTC, and it's trading for, whatever, 8 cents. And you've got a couple $100, and you're like, okay, well, this will get me, like 7,000 or 8,000 Doge or whatever the hell that would get you, and that 3 cents a profit per Doge, that's a pretty decent little profit. Keep in mind, guys, you're going to lose some of your Doge when you transfer it between the exchanges, so you have to factor that in. And then you're also going to get hit with a market fee when you sell. And it's the same, on Finecoin, but you only have the one little market fee. If you stay within the same exchange, you only pay the one little market fee, and it is very, very small. But that is something to factor in. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I like to think to myself that $15 is going to be eaten in fees. 15 to 30, depending on how many of these coins I'm sending and selling, right? But, I like to say like, okay, so if I do this, I can make $80, doing it. And it's, after fees, it's going to be, $60 or whatever. So, okay, why not? Let's do it. So just keep that in mind. So if you're looking to make, like if you do your calculation, right, and you can only get like, say, I don't know, 1,000 of these things at a 3-cent profit per, you're looking at somewhere in the ballpark of, $30, but you're going to pay half of that in fees. Is that worth it? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Maybe it is to you. I don't know your situation, and I'm not going to pretend to. Now, keep in mind, again, you still have the risks of, when you're transferring it between exchanges, it's not instant like it is here on Fine. You can buy Finecoin on the Ripple exchange and turn right around and sell it on the Ethereum exchange, right? Or, whatever. Buy it on Ethereum, sell it on Bitcoin, you yada, yada, yada. You get the idea. However, when you're transferring between exchanges, it's got to go through the blockchain, so it's going to take a certain number of confirmations, and so it's going to take time. So you do also run the risk of, you do that little calculation, and you're like, okay, well, I stand to make $150 off of this. It's a 5-cent difference, and, whatever, I'm buying 5,000 of them or whatever. Cool. Well, by the time it gets there, maybe the price dipped a couple cents. And so now, instead of making $150, you're looking at like a, I don't know, freaking $90 profit, but it costs you $20. So now instead of $150, you're making 70. Or even worse, the price drops to exactly the same as it was where you bought it. And then you would be selling for a loss, and we don't do that. I don't do that. I would rather let a coin go to zero than sell and trade for a loss, period. That's just me, though. Some people like to, if they see it's dropping, they'll go ahead and try and salvage some of their investment. What I do is when I put money into something, in my head, it's already gone. Of course, I'm calculating out the profits and hoping for those profits, but that way, if it disappears, if the price goes to zero or the platform exits, like, oh well. That's why I don't drop huge amounts of money into these things to begin with. Now once I've made it past baby baller status, and I've got, whatever, 80 or 90K in my ICO fund account or whatever, whatever I'm into at that point, cloud mining fund or just arbitraging fund or, shitcoin fund or whatever it is, then maybe, I'll look at it like, okay, well, if I lose 5K, I'm still got 85,000 in my, budget for other projects, not a big deal. And keep in mind that when I'm talking about having, 50K or 100K or whatever it is in a trading fund, this is not like, this is you've already pulled money into your bank account and you've still got some left and you're playing with that. Playing with house money as it were. So, let's say I make 20 grand off of Thorn in total. I pull half of that into my pocket and have some fun with that, pay off a car, do whatever I'm going to do with it. And then I've got 10 grand that I'm willing to put into other projects. At that point, that's playing with house money. So maybe I get a little ballsy and drop $1,000 into my next project. Maybe I drop 2,500 into my next project. Because if it does go south, if it exits or whatever, shit, that was Thorne's money anyway. In my mind. But you got to keep in mind where you're at and what you're comfortable with losing, guys. Because if you overextend yourself and you put too much money in, you're going to panic. It's human nature. That's almost unavoidable. It is what it is. Okay, you're going to panic and you're going to sell for a loss if things start going the opposite way versus just letting it ride to zero and hopefully it makes a comeback. Maybe it was, Mount Gox selling off or something, who knows? But this video was actually quite a bit longer than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Sherry, I hope this answered your questions on the arbitrage. And I will say again, it is very, very risky doing this. But you also, it's the same concept as investing in an ICO where it's extremely risky, but the upside is pretty big. So I hope this helped. I hope this answered some of your questions. And I hope you guys are able to do this for a profit if you choose to do it. I'm going to advise everyone not to do it because you do, I do risk losing all of my fine, right, by doing stuff like this. But that's a risk that I'm willing to take. I'm fine with that if it does happen. So again, it's a good way to seriously increase your profits, but it's taking an additional risk. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. Happy hunting. If there's breaking news or, if there's something big going on, I will definitely be posting a video. But my schedule is going to be crazy the next 2 or 3 days. So if there's nothing to report on, if there's nothing to do a video on, I'm probably just going to take the little bit of time that I have with my family every night and spend it with them, which I hope you guys don't mind. But hey, deal with it. Happy hunting, wolves, and let's make some money.